briefly lived period of actual winter February temperatures was exactly that. It was very, very brief. Already we're back again to summer temperatures basically. It's about 15 degrees in the valley today, potentially even warmer. Freezing levels at about 3,400 metres, so even though it's not particularly sunny, there's a lot of high cloud around, the snow's just slush everywhere, top to bottom. So I'm coming up here at the tour now for an afternoon blast on the snowboard in the slush. Hopefully quite good fun. I'll check out the fun park, see what it's like, and check in with you all in a bit. So it's been the main February half-term week for most schools this week, so as such Chamonix is incredibly busy. Well, you have to fight to get on and off the buses, long lift queues at any kind of major choke points such as the bottom chairlift here at the tour, and yeah, the slope's pretty busy as well. And on top of that, as I mentioned last week, it's also been the first week of the winter break for a lot of the Paris schools. So French School Zone Z, which includes Paris as well as another region down south, they've had their first week this week as well. So yeah, busy, busy, busy. So the plus side if you are coming out this week is that most of the UK schools will have gone back now. Some do have 2 weeks off, so don't be surprised if you do see some school kids out here still. But it's week 2 of the Paris half term, plus it's week 1 of Zone A, which includes much of the middle section of France. So yeah, it'll still be very, very busy. Indeed, it potentially could be even busier. Plus I think a lot of Belgian and Dutch and German schools are off as well. So yeah, this is peak season really. It's about as busy as it gets. So as I mentioned at the start, we did have a brief period where it actually felt like February out here. No major big freeze, but kind of normal midwinter temperatures. So woke up to a dusting of snow in Argentière on both Sunday morning and Monday morning, and it all gone by 10-11 AM. But yeah, at least it was nice to see the mountains white briefly for the very least. Certainly up on the hill there was a reasonable amount of fresh snow over the weekend. Nothing to write home about, but yeah, maybe 10-15 centimetres each day. And yeah, certainly on north facing slopes it held up pretty well. On south facing slopes it gets cooked very, very quickly, but yeah, there was some nice fresh snow to be had if you knew where to look and you were a little bit adventurous. As such, lots of people were heading over the backside of the Aiguille Rouge, so climbing up and over from Brevant or Fougères, so the classics, for example the Col de Belvedere, the Keyhole or the Glacier Mort, and then skiing down the Val de Barrage to Le Bouet, and you can get the train back from there. And yeah, snow was quite good on the north facing slopes, but as I mentioned in my previous snow report, it was very much loaded by the wind. It had a southerly wind, so there was a lot of wind sab about as well, so people need to be pretty careful. But yeah, certainly if you got lucky and you picked a sensible aspect of a safe run out, you can have some good fun over there. As for the Val de Barrade itself, it's pretty much possible to ski all the way to the Buvette, and then from there it's only about a 10-minute walk down to the road and the bus or train station. It's pretty tight and pretty technical in places, and also very icy. So yeah, it's not to be underestimated, and it's certainly best for advanced skiers, but yeah, it is possible to keep your skis on pretty much all the way out. So all the weather that we did have over the weekend came up from the south, and as such we're slightly in the rain shadow of Mont Blanc here in Chamonix itself, but Courmayeur got much more snow. So the conditions on Monday and Tuesday in Courmayeur are pretty epic, and especially on Skyway. So this is some footage from Ross Hewitt, who's a mountain guide, and he said that it's some of the best conditions and certainly the most filled in. He's seen it in a long time. But yeah, as is always the case with the Skyway, you basically got 1 day maximum to ski it after fresh snow before it gets absolutely sun cooked. But the resort of Courmayeur itself delivered the goods yet again. So this was on Wednesday, so basically 3 days after it last snowed, and you can still find beautiful untouched powder with fairly minimal effort, just very much a short skate or push from the lifts, and yeah, just lovely open powder fields that have just pretty much side country skiing, so right off the top lift. And even in resort, yeah, everything's tracked, but it's not completely tracked out in the same way that Chamonix is by 11 AM on a powder day. Still 3 days after the last snowfall, you can still find softish, fresh snow. Yeah, there'll be tracks you'll be cutting across, but it's not completely skied out and destroyed. So yeah, had a pretty good day on Courmayeur yesterday as well. Then as for today, here I am at the Tour. It's pretty much prime park riding conditions right now, although the flat light doesn't really help. But yeah, the park's up and running. It's running really fast and really smooth and lovely in this soft snow conditions. So there's the extra small line, which I showed you about a month ago. That hasn't changed. But then they've opened up a medium and a large line. Nothing's going to catch you out, nothing's absolutely huge, but there's some reasonably interesting features there, a proper cannon box, there's some different boxes and rails and pipes, and there's a few hip jumps as well. So yeah, good fun. And indeed, the pistes up here are absolutely lovely too in this soft spring snow. It's not getting too cut up, even though it is very, very busy. The pistes are holding up well. I'm sure the home run is pretty horrific, I'll find out that at the end of the day, but certainly up above mid-mountain, the pistes are all really, really good. I'm sure the same goes for Brevant-Fougères, although in a few places they'll be getting more cut up because they tend to see a lot more traffic there, being closer to Chamonix. And also some places they'll be a bit icy as well. So definitely Le Tour is the place to come when it's like this. Grand Montée, again, I would imagine that in a few places it's going to be quite icy, but on a day like today when it's this warm, most of it will soften up. So could be quite fun on the piste at Grand Montée as well too. And yeah, as I already said, in Courmayeur, the piste there were pretty phenomenal yesterday too. And as a beginner, yet again, the place to go is La Valmaine, which is the beginners area at the bottom of the Tour down here. Again, it's really wide, well-groomed, smooth, flat. Of course, it's really, really busy, especially as it's half term, but yeah, that's the best place to go if you're a beginner. And of course, once you've got the hang of it and you're starting to be a bit more confident, you can come up here to the main ones in the Tour, which are very, very friendly. The blues are like greens, the reds are like blues, so yeah, it's a good place to come if you're advancing intermediate as well. Planards and the Balcon de Savoie piece in Chamonix are still open, but they look pretty horrific. You're just skiing on man-made snow, which is going to be hard, icy and horrible, or just muddy and slushy. And I don't know how much longer they're going to last, to be honest, unless we get some more snow. I think Chausselet has one run open, which is in the bottom of Argentière, and the beginner runs in Les Houches they've not been open basically all season. So as you can see, I am in shorts and t-shirt, and I'm up at above 2,400 meters, and even without the sun, still pretty comfortable. So yeah, it's really, really warm at the moment. Temperature is dropping a little bit over the next few days, but it's still going to be predominantly warm and predominantly high pressure. There's a little bit of weather coming through on Monday, which will give a few centimetres up on the mid and upper mountain, but nothing to write home about. Like 4 or 5 centimetres is all that's really forecast. And it'll be raining down in Chamonix again, so it'll be pretty miserable. But then beyond that again, we're back into predominantly warm, high pressure, so much of muchness similar to this. So spring conditions are very much going to be applying next week as well, I think, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I mean, spring snow is lovely to ski, especially if you're just sticking to the pistes. And yeah, obviously everyone likes skiing in the sun as well, so yeah, it'd be quite pleasant. But don't expect any powder, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm going to head back down to the park now for a few more slush laps before everything closes. But if you are heading out here next week, yeah, it looks a bit depressing from the bottom of the valley, but don't despair because there's still plenty of snow up on the mid and upper mountain, which is where you need it. And yeah, it's not powder, but spring snow, slush is still good fun to ski. So yeah, you're going to have fun. And as always, Chamonix is a beautiful place to be, regardless of what the snow's like. So yeah, come out here, have a good time, and tune in next week.